This is Wayne Williams from GRABANOTHERGEAR Sessions podcast, and this is the fifth in the series of articles, journal articles that I wrote back at the end of 2001 and beginning of 2002. CEO as CPS, the Chief Problem Solver. Following the publication of my first 4 columns in this magazine, I received great comments from other CEOs, as well as friends and relatives. One that really struck me came from my great uncle Luke Williams, who called to encourage and challenge me. The CEO's number one responsibility is to solve problems, he said. And Wayne, business is nothing but problems. He also reminded me that nothing is certain except the circumstances will change, and that problem-solving, decision-making, and planning must always be done with the full knowledge that we never really know what lies ahead. With these thoughts in mind, I want to talk about the future. As I look to 2002 and beyond, I do see light at the end of the tunnel for Telect. But regardless of how fast or slow the turnaround comes, because of what we experienced and the lessons we've learned, we are as prepared as possible. Before 2001 and the light at the end of the tunnel always meant, in my mind, growth and financial success. Now I know that the greatest success in Telect's history was not our astonishing growth or record-breaking years. It is the fact that we have survived a nightmare. We're still here. Telect has a future. At the same time, what we went through last year has brought home to me the startling clarity, and the future is not ensured if we limit ourselves to preparation for only one scenario or outcome. How can we possibly take comfort in the thought that the future will be any different from the past? I know with certainty that down the road, we could be hurtling toward a $300 million year, and it could all change in a heartbeat. The difference is that next time we will be ready. We will be prepared, not just for the good, but for the unthinkable. As a result of last year's shocks, we have a new vision, a new strategy, a newfound strength. Today, I recognize that my job is more than calling on customers and developing good relationships with our employees, bankers, and others. It's more than creating vision, planning our mission, and setting into goals. It is even more than being one of the first telecom companies to complete an IPO when the market returns. Eyes on the road ahead. Being a CEO is about anticipating, preparing, and solving problems that come as a result of change. The wisdom we hopefully develop, whether we grow or decline, should prepare us to deal with whatever circumstances we face. Being a CEO is like a Formula One driver. Seat time is the only way you get better. You don't drive while looking at your rearview mirror. You look where you want to go, not where you are. You don't have much of a seat because you want to feel the road. You know you need to stop in the pits to rest, refuel, change, and adjust equipment. And you can never be sure, even if you've done 199 laps, just what lies ahead. How can we expect to run a race without understanding the essentials? Taking the time to study the terrain, realizing when tactics must change, resting, adjusting the approach, and being prepared for anything is our real job. Communication, competence, character, charisma, courage, and commitment to see things through are the core elements of being the kind of leader a CEO should be. Because I know Telect's future is in our maker's hands. I'm committed to living out these core elements regardless of the circumstances. I know that I can be a tool to guide our strategies, communicate our mission and vision, and excel over our competition using tactics that break the old rules while keeping my hands on the wheel and my eyes on the road ahead. A big part of my job is setting a guiding vision that is elastic enough to cope with the inevitable ups and downs while maintaining the principles that Telect has adhered to for nearly 20 years. While the times may change, our core vision of profitability, While times may change, our core vision of a profitable company making real products and selling them in ways to create highly satisfied customers will continue to guide us. The lessons learned. The top 10 things I learned last year, plus one more. First, communicate as clearly, authentically, and as often as possible. You don't need to have every piece in place. Tell people the parts you know. Don't let your distribution channel get too full. Know your customers better than they know themselves, and get to know your customers' customers. Never let systems drive what your people want to do. Devise your own scorecard. Watch and keep your finger on the pulse of the business using your own metrics. Question what the systems indicate. Keep a diverse customer base. When you are ready to make a painful decision, don't hesitate. Waiting doesn't make it hurt any less. Eliminate those things that will kill you, even if they are part of your company's history. Don't let fear drive you in making safe but wrong decisions. Do what you can to survive today. Teach what everyone needs to know for tomorrow. Gather the best and most trustworthy team and employees and encourage them to tell you the truth. Tell the truth always. You have less to remember. Break away from the status quo, whether your revenues are growing, plateauing, or declining. One thing is for sure, the circumstances will change. Look beyond where you are today. Make decisions, but be mindful of the fact that tomorrow may sweep away much of what you know to be true today. As a reminder to myself about the lessons of last year, when I think about who I am and what my job really is at Telect, I will add the initials CPS in front of my title, Chief Problem Solver. Thank you. This has been Wayne Williams from the archives, Grab Another Gear Sessions podcast. Thank you for listening to the Grab Another Gear Sessions. Join me next session for more stories and experiences that may help you overcome your next challenge.